All right, so we're doing 2.5a using linear models. Now your calculator can graph any function. Actually, it graphs more than functions, but for us, we're just going to graph some functions. So on your calculator at the very top, these are all your graphing keys at the very top where it says y equals window, zoom, trace, and graph. Okay, and we're going to be using a lot of these. So let's go ahead. I'm going to pause this and I'm going to teach you how to graph some lines on your calculator. All right, so on our calculator, you can graph anything you want. You can graph parabolas, you can graph absolute value graphs. There's all kinds of graphs. So what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on something called stat plot. And it's really called a scatter plot. And a scatter plot is data points. Scatter point is data points on your graph. Okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be given some information, some data points, and we're going to graph them on our graph. And it might look something like this. Okay? They're gonna be kind of scattered, but they're also gonna look like a line. There's gonna be a linear correlation between them. Okay? And when there's a linear correlation between them, you can find something called a trend line. And a trend line is the line of best fit. The line of best fit. And what happens is your calculator will calculate the best line for the data points. Okay, you can do it by hand. It's really hard. And a lot of statistics they use this for a lot of different things, like linear regression is what it's called. So what it'll do is it'll find that line that goes through a lot of the points, and it's going to balance them all out, like the middle line. Yeah, the strongest line. Now the correlation coefficient is going to be something called R. R. And you want R to be either close to 1.
Is it a little r?
Yeah. Close to 1 or -1. So if you have a negative sloped line, you want that to be close to -1. The closer your R value is to 1 or -1, the better your line is. It's kind of like, I think of it as, let's say my R value is 0.93. Would I like to get a 93% on my test? Yeah, I would. Okay, that's a really good line. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to be given some information like this. It says the table of information is for the gold medal winners in the men's 100-meter freestyle.
Swimming.
Yes, during various summer Olympics. It says here that in 1908, the Olympic gold medal was 65.6, and these are just some various times, and we're going to graph this on our calculator, and we're going to see if it's a positive, negative, or no correlation. We're going to sketch the graph. We're going to find the line of best fit. We're going to do the whole thing, okay? And we're going to sketch a graph. Now, your graph doesn't, guys, Billy. Your graph doesn't have to be perfect, okay? When we sketch our graph, we're going to do this. We're just going to kind of try to put the dots in as best we can. There's one here, there's one there, and then there's like a couple that are together at the end, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect, all right? Now, if I were to draw a line through this, so part A says, graph the data. Do these points represent a positive, negative, or no correlation? So that they're talking about the slope. Okay, are the times getting faster each year? Yeah, so it's a negative correlation. See how your line would be negative, your slope would? So that would be negative correlation. Sketch the graph. Now, what I need you to do, though, is I need you to write down the appropriate window scale, like the window that you're using. So press the window button on your calculator. And my window, and it might be different than yours, but I think they all pretty much do the same. My X minimum is 1897.6. Was that yours?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to write that right here. So I would write 1897 is my X minimum. My X max is 2022. So X to X. And then my Y min is about 43. And then the Y max is about 68.7. So we'll just say 68. Okay? And so you want to write that so that I can see, where your data points are lying on the graph. Okay, now we need to find the line of best fit. We're going to round to 5 decimal places. That's a little crazy. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to write y equals, and see this says y equals ax plus b. I wish they would have used m, but they didn't. Y equals ax plus b, and a is negative 0.16357. So we have to write down that whole number. So negative 0.16357, and that's next to x. That's the slope. And b is plus 375.215182. I don't make you do 5 decimal points a lot, but this one you have to. It's really important that you do it on this one. And that's the line of best fit. Pretty gross line, right? Now, how accurate is your line of best fit? Well, it's hard to tell just by looking at it. And that's why we turn that R on in our calculator. And what value was R? Negative 0.98. Ooh, that is really close to -1. If you have a negative correlation, you want it to be as close as you can to -1. If you have a positive correlation, you want it as close to +1. So how good is that line? It's very accurate. So how accurate? Very. Okay, and I might ask you why, and you'll say it because R is negative 0.98. Now, using your equation, predict the time for the 2016 Olympics. This is a little bit of an older worksheet, I guess. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug in x equals 2016 into this equation here.
Oh, ew.
I know. Isn't that gross? It totally is. Yeah. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to your calculator, and you're going to do negative 0.16357 times 2016. So I'm plugging it in for x now into my equation. And then plus 375.21518. I kind of went too far on that one, didn't I? It's 251, so I messed up. 2518. 25182. Okay. And then hit enter. Ooh. And it says that the time will be 45.49 seconds. Wow. I think it was more than that. You could probably Google that if you wanted to. Okay. Now, let me show you how you can actually put that line into your calculator. There's 2 ways to do this. So go to y equals. Go to y equals, and we're going to manually type it in. Okay? It's a lot of numbers, I know, but it was negative 0.16357x, don't forget the x, plus 375.25182. Okay? And now hit the graph button. Ooh, and there it is. Cool, huh? Hit zoom 9. Zoom 9 will give you zoom stat, bless you. Did that work? No? Are your plots turned on? Go to y equals and check to see if your plots are turned on. All right, now, anybody's calculator not working right? Plots are now.
Well, if I could finish these.
Okay, yes. All right, so hold on real quick.